The United States entered World War II with unmatched industrial power and a doctrine centered on reliability, logistics, and mass production. From tanks and tank destroyers to self-propelled artillery, half-tracks, trucks, engineering vehicles, and amphibious machines, American ground vehicles enabled sustained global warfare across Europe and the Pacific. Tanks. M2 light tank was a pre-war light tank developed mainly for training and experimentation. Though it never saw combat, it played a key role in shaping American armored doctrine and influenced later light tank designs used once the United States entered the war. M5 light tank Stuart. An improved Stuart variant with better engines and internal layout. It maintained the same reconnaissance role and continued serving throughout the war, especially in scouting units where speed and reliability were more important than firepower. M24 Chaffee was a late-war light tank armed with a 75mm gun, offering improved firepower and mobility. Designed to replace earlier light tanks, it arrived too late to see widespread combat, but influenced post-war reconnaissance tank designs. M2 medium tank was an experimental medium tank produced before US entry into the war. It never entered combat, but provided valuable engineering lessons that directly influenced the development of the M3 and M4 medium tank series. M3 medium tank, Lee and Grant, was an interim design mounting its main gun in a hull sponson. Though awkward, it provided urgently needed firepower and proved effective in North Africa until more capable medium tanks became available. M4 Sherman was the backbone of US armored forces and the most produced tank of World War II. Reliable, adaptable, and easy to maintain, it served on every major front and became the standard Allied medium tank. M26 Pershing was a late-war heavy tank developed to counter German Panthers and Tigers. Featuring improved armor and firepower, it saw limited combat but represented a major step toward post-war American tank design. Next on the list, tank destroyers. M3 gun motor carriage was an early tank destroyer mounting an anti-tank gun on a half-track chassis. It provided mobile firepower during early campaigns but lacked protection, leading to rapid replacement by more capable designs. M6 gun motor carriage mounted a 37mm gun on a light truck chassis as a stopgap anti-tank solution. It proved ineffective against modern armor and was withdrawn early, highlighting flaws in early US tank destroyer concepts. M10 Wolverine was a turreted tank destroyer designed to counter German armor. It combined mobility with effective firepower, though its thin armor left crews vulnerable, requiring careful tactical employment. M18 Hellcat was the fastest armored vehicle of the war, designed for hit-and-run tactics. It relied on speed rather than protection and proved highly effective when used for ambushes and rapid repositioning. M36 Jackson mounted a powerful 90mm gun capable of destroying heavy German tanks. Entering service late, it finally gave US forces a direct answer to Panthers and Tigers on the battlefield. Next on the list, self-propelled artillery. M7 Priest was the primary American self-propelled howitzer of the war. Mounted on a tank chassis, it provided mobile indirect fire support and served extensively in North Africa, Europe, and the Pacific. M8 Scott was a light self-propelled gun based on the Stuart tank. It supported infantry assaults with direct fire, but offered limited protection, restricting its use in prolonged engagements. M12 gun motor carriage mounted a heavy long-range gun for counter-battery fire and bunker destruction. It proved highly effective during the Normandy campaign and later operations in Western Europe. M40 gun motor carriage was an improved heavy self-propelled artillery vehicle developed late in the war. It offered better crew protection and mobility, but saw limited combat due to its late introduction. M41 Guerrilla was an ammunition carrier designed to support heavy artillery units. By transporting shells close to the front, it enabled sustained fire operations during major offensives. Next on the list, armored personnel carriers and half-tracks. M2 half-track was an early armoured personnel carrier used for reconnaissance and artillery support. Its limited troop capacity reduced transport usefulness, but it remained valuable in support roles. M3 Half-Track was the standard American armoured personnel carrier of World War II. It transported infantry and equipment while keeping pace with tanks, becoming a symbol of US mechanized warfare. M5 Half-Track was a simplified half-track produced mainly for Allied forces. It performed similar roles to the M3 and supported transport and combat operations across multiple theatres. M9 Half-Track combined features of earlier designs into a standardized vehicle. It was widely supplied to Allied forces and used for troop transport and support duties. M16 MGMC was an anti-aircraft half-track armed with multiple machine guns. It defended ground forces from air attack and proved devastating against infantry in late war fighting. M15 CGMC combined cannon and machine guns for air defense. As enemy air threats declined, it was frequently used in a ground support role. Next on the list, armoured cars and recon vehicles. M3 Scout Car was an early reconnaissance and command vehicle used for patrol and escort duties. Lightly armoured, it relied on speed rather than protection. M8 Greyhound was the primary US armoured car of the war. Fast and reliable, it excelled in reconnaissance, but was vulnerable to heavier enemy weapons. M20 Utility Car was a turretless variant of the M8 designed for command and liaison roles. It carried radios and officers rather than heavy armament. M38 Wolfhound was a heavier armoured car developed late in the war. It featured improved protection but saw limited combat before hostilities ended. Next on the list, trucks and transport vehicles. GMC CCKW was the logistical backbone of the US Army. It transported troops, fuel and supplies across all theatres, enabling sustained Allied offensives. Dodge WC Series was a versatile family of light trucks used for transport, communications and weapons carriers. Their adaptability made them indispensable. International Harvester M5 Twin 6 was a heavy-duty truck produced in smaller numbers. It supported transport and logistics roles where durability was required. Diamond T40 Ton was a heavy cargo truck designed to haul large loads. It supported engineering and supply units in demanding conditions. Brockway B66 was a heavy military truck used mainly for transport and recovery roles. Its powerful engine allowed operation in difficult terrain. Next on the list, artillery prime movers and heavy vehicles. M4 high-speed tractor was designed to tow medium artillery pieces. Its tracked mobility allowed guns to follow advancing troops across rough terrain. M5 high-speed tractor was used to tow heavier artillery. It provided reliable mobility and protection for gun crews. M6 high-speed tractor was the heaviest US artillery tractor. It hauled the largest guns and equipment during major offensives. Diamond T980-981 was a heavy tank transporter used to move armoured vehicles long distances, reducing wear and improving logistical efficiency. Next on the list, engineering, recovery and support vehicles. M32 Tank Recovery Vehicle was based on the Sherman chassis and recovered damaged tanks under combat conditions, helping maintain armoured unit strength. M31 Armoured Recovery Vehicle was an early recovery vehicle based on the M3 tank. It supported armoured units by towing disabled vehicles. M1 Combat Engineer Tractor was used by engineers to clear obstacles, build defences and prepare battlefield infrastructure. Next on the list, amphibious vehicles. LVT-1 were amphibious tracked vehicles used primarily in the Pacific. They enabled troops and supplies to cross reefs and land directly on beaches. Duckif Amphibious Truck was a six-wheeled amphibious vehicle used to move cargo from ship to shore during amphibious operations. US ground vehicles of World War II reflected a strategy built on reliability, mass production, and logistics rather than extreme design. From tanks and artillery to trucks and amphibious vehicles, these machines enabled sustained global operations and gave Allied forces the mobility and endurance needed to achieve victory.